We've talked about so much. If there was one thing that you wanted the C-suite audience that's going to be consuming this podcast to take away, what's the one thing that you want them to take away from our conversation?
I was hoping somebody will ask me this question at some point of time. My view of the world is as follows. In the days of the yore when the businesses are coming through, General Manager Finance was the most glamorous title for the finance guys. General Manager Sales used to be the most sought after title. And then the title part started delving into executive officers, financial officers, revenue officers. But CRO essentially is the culmination of a successful sales guy's end point. You can be a CRO and then only become a CEO. And most of us kind of remain a CRO for the rest of our lives. There is nowhere else to go from here. It's lonely at the top. Very few CROs, in fact, amongst all the C-level titles, a CRO typically is faster into the CEO, but not everybody becomes a CEO in their lives. Now, the reason I was saying this is as a first time CRO, what hit me was the need to learn the jargons, CAC, deal velocity, customer value. Absolute fun stuff to learn, absolutely fun stuff to use with investors. And I'm not saying that's trivial, it's very, very important for growth. But what happens is a successful, creative, passionate, obsession driven sales guy has become a CRO and then he's forgotten how to sell because he's sitting in boardrooms, looking at data, creating slides, creating stories to sell as to why his numbers have either not been met or they have been met and what next best can happen. The only thing you end up doing with your sales guys is if you can find time, you will review with them about their problems, or you will go and talk at events and share your experiences. The ability to find time and more importantly, have the will and the passion to go back to the drawing board and saying, I still love cold calling because I love to walk door to door and be told to get lost. In fact, I was doing this few weeks back, Steve. My team put together a road show in Philadelphia, New Jersey. So they identified this entire, they had their mapping done. On this road, there are so many ports and there are so many trucking companies, so many bus companies. So they did all the scientific ways of essentially ensuring that we could cold call maximum number of prospects in a mini truck with our company's branding and designing. And the excitement I had for that one day that I could take out to be in the field with my reps, sitting in the truck, drying my sweat, and knocking door to door, just walking and doing what I was doing 20 years back was so much fun. It gave me so much creative satisfaction. We actually closed 2 deals there. Door to door knocking still works provided you have the passion and the bandwidth to do that. Now, I'm not saying make that the norm, but at the culmination of this journey, you got to balance out your MBA driven and worst investor required, board required, metrics formulation, evaluation, and governance around the metrics with the passion that made you that guy. I think that's wherein the entrepreneurship versus management guy kind of peters it out. You learn new things to talk those jargons, those terminologies, look at the impact they have on business because that will help you make decisions. But don't stop doing what made you what you have become, which is being with the reps, doing those calls, rolling your sleeves, going and cracking deals. Because until unless you remain to be a player coach, you will just become another cog in the management team.